Hello. Today we're going to talk about how to create a hyperlink using a image as well as text using MailChimp and WordPress. But understand, these techniques can be used across pretty much any type of content management system, whether it be an email manager, whether it be Microsoft Word, WordPress, Joomla, or any of the other many tools out on the internet. Once you understand the basic concept, you can use and create hyperlinks anywhere across the internet. Let's get started. We're creating a campaign regarding a networking mixer, and we want to link the image here over to the calendar event that has all the details where people can purchase tickets and so forth and so on. So here's what we do. We'll go ahead in MailChimp here, edit this block, and over here on the right here we see this link here which says link, and we're going to click on it, and it's going to open up the insert or edit link page, or pop-up if you will. And so how do we get this link to put in here? Where does this come from? Well, that comes from our web browser. We need to actually go over to the page where we want people to land. So let's do that ourselves. So we're going to go over here to the calendar. And the way I did this is I went to the networktexas.biz, B-I-Z calendar, and I scrolled down until I found this particular event. I went ahead and clicked on it, and it popped up this page or overlay. And if I look up here in the URL, and this is in our web browser, every web browser has one. Sometimes you have to look hard for it because it's got a bunch of other junk up here at the top. And what I want to do is I want to highlight this entire URL and copy it and then go paste it over in MailChimp. So there's a couple ways you can do it. I usually like to start on the far right. You can, once you mouse in there, it'll highlight the whole thing. But if it doesn't do that, you can hold down your left mouse key and then just drag the entire URL just like I did there. And once you do, you can just right click and copy, or if you want to use the keyboard shortcut, you can see it's Control plus C at the same time. Now if you're on a Mac, it's going to be Command plus C at the same time. So we'll go ahead and copy that. Now, one word of advice: if I were to shrink down my web browser here really small, notice what's happening to my URL. I'm not seeing the entire URL. If I go back to the left here, this is usually what you're going to see. So it's a good thing that you can just go ahead and in the address window, just double click it multiple times, and then it's going to automatically go to the end. Here's the end of it, and it's going to capture the entire URL. That's for in case you can't see, because there's some URLs are really long, and basically a URL is nothing but a web link that gets you and navigates you around the internet. So let's go ahead and right click on my mouse keyboard, and I've got this drop down menu, and I'm going to go ahead and select copy. Excellent. Now let's go back to our MailChimp campaign, and we have this open box. So what we're going to do is we want to get rid of that because we're going to paste our own in. Right click and go ahead and paste. Now if you wanted to do your keyboard shortcut, it would just be Control V, and that would paste it in as well, or on the Mac, a Command V. Now let's go ahead and insert that, and let's go ahead and save and close it, which I'm clicking on the save and close button below what you can see. And well, let's go ahead and open this up a little bit. Now you see this little finger, this hand with a finger. Anytime you see that, that means that item or object on the or text is clickable. It'll take you to someplace on the internet. Now let's do the same thing. This time what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and make some of our text clickable. In this particular case, we want people to know that they click on something to get more information about this event that's about to start. Let's go ahead and I'll bring it down to the view like that. Let's slide this down, and let's go ahead and click on the little pencil, and here we are over here on the right hand side. Here's all our text. We want to highlight Third Thursday networking calendar. For full details, visit the Third Thursday Networking Calendar. So we could highlight as much or as little as we want here. So I'm going to start with full details, visit the Third Thursday Networking Calendar. And I highlighted it by holding down the left mouse key and then just dragging it over to where I want the highlight to end. Now with it highlighted, I'm going to go up here and go to the link tool. That'll open up the insert and edit link. Now all I need to do, because I still have my link from last time in my clipboard on my computer, I want to paste the link again. Now if you just want to double check to make sure the whole thing got in there, we can just go right on over here and we see everything is there. Also on your keyboard you can click end and that'll automatically take you to the end of that link, or you can click home and it'll take you automatically to the left. Just a little tip. And let's go ahead and insert that link. Now notice that in this particular case it's turned blue. Now you can go ahead and format it, change it to whatever color you want in MailChimp, but the default is this baby blue color. And if you notice over here, everything is underlined in blue, so that represents that this text is, if I click on it, it's linkable. Notice when I mouse over it, I see this hand, so that means that's a link. So I'm going to go ahead and save and close. So now when I send this email out, folks are going to be able to either click on the image and that'll take them over to the page I want them to go to, or they're going to be able to click on this text and that'll take them over to the page I want to go to. It can be to the same page or it could be to different locations. It's just a matter of going in and grabbing the link. Now let's do the same thing, except this time let's go ahead and show you how it's done in WordPress. You're going to find out that all this is going to be pretty universal no matter what tool you're using, whether it be Microsoft Word or any other type of content management system, as if website related or web related. So here we are, we're creating a new page here, and on this page here's our little jumping lucky charm. We also have our text on here, so we're basically going to do the thing. We're going to make the image clickable and also the text clickable. So let's first start with the image. I'm going to click on the image. I'm going to get this little mini toolbar here. However, what we want to do is go up to the insert and edit link tool in WordPress. Notice it looks sort of kind of the same, but except it's kind of at an angle and I mouse over it. It's a chain basically. And that's what a link is. You have links and chains, so that's how it all relates together. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this, and WordPress, this is what it's going to look like. Here's our URL. Since I still have it on my clipboard, that previous link, I'm going to right click and paste, or I could use Control V if I wish, or Command V if you're on a Mac. And there we are. Here in WordPress it gives me another option, because this is a website and it's not an email. It gives me, if I click this box here, to open link in a new tab. I can do that if I wish. Now here's a rule of thumb to use. If you're linking to an outside website, this is a good tool to use. That way when they're away from your website, they haven't forgotten where they've come from. So when they're done with that website or that web page you sent them to and they close it, they'll still see your website. If you don't do this, they close that page, guess what? They might not remember how to get back to your website. But if you're linking internally to your own pages on your own website, you don't necessarily need to use this unless you got a specific reason to do so. So since we're linking internally to the same website, we won't check this. And we'll go ahead and add the link. Now, we're going to do the same thing for the text. It says, come on out to Third Thursday for some great business networking. And I might want to go ahead and add some text that says, full details, check the calendar. And then I can make all this text linkable. So I've highlighted what I wanted to make linkable. I'm going to go back up into the Insert Edit Link tool. I'm going to go ahead and right click because I still have my link on my clipboard. I haven't copied anything else. And there it is. But this one, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to go ahead just to show you, open the link in a new tab. And we're going to add the link. Now what we want to do here now is go ahead and update this page. And while it's updating, there we go. Now we can go ahead and click on the permalink, which is WordPress's way of saying it's a URL or it's a web address, but it's still a link. I click on that, it's going to open up the page as if a web viewer would be viewing it. Here's our little guy, our image right here. Notice the little hand and the finger. That means it's linkable. I go off of it, it goes away. And if I come down here to our text, I keep going. Aha, there's our little hand again. Full details, check the calendar. So if I click on this, the image, it's going to go right on over to the calendar, and boom, there's the information on this particular event. So let's go ahead and close that. We're going to hit the back arrow to take us back to our page. Now this time I'm going to click on the text. Remember, I checked that box to open up in a new tab. Let me slide this down so you can see what happens here. So you can see the tabs. I'm going to click here. Notice a new tab open. It's waiting for the page to load, and there it is. It opened up in a new tab, and I click on this tab. Notice I can get back to my original page. And like I say, this would be great if you sent people to another website, because they're sitting here and they're reading all this, and then they go ahead and do this. And if you didn't have that open in a new window, guess what? They are no longer on your website, whereas they close it, boom, they're automatically back to the website that sent them. So that's something to kind of think about. That's it. Creating hyperlinks using images and photos and so forth, and also text, is quite simple.